Hi, Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. My name is Muhammad Syukri Adli bin Siddiq along with my partner Muhammad Syahrul Ikhwan bin Muhammad Sufyan. We will be presenting about a study of readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept in Malaysia from the perspective of student from UiTM Seremban 3 Negeri Sembilan. I will proceed with the research background. Environmental history is the study of human interaction with the nature across time, emphasizing nature active involvement in the affecting human affairs. Malaysia has a long history on the issue of environmental pollution. Waste generation has risen dramatically in the recent years as a result of rising living conditions, fast economic growth, and industrial in major cities, according to Joma, Baba and Sonokos 2015. To reduce the waste generation, the government has come out with an innovative program which is the 3R concept, which is reuse, reduce and recycle. Next, we move to the problem statement. The implementation of the 3R concept in Malaysia has not been fully successful. In Malaysia, the total solid waste generated increased significantly from the 30,069 tons per day in 1996 to the 30,000 tons per day in 2020. In addition, pollution is arguably Malaysia's most serious environmental issue. Malaysia's most current issue is about the water pollution. Water supply in Selangor is a frequent cause of the pollution in the rivers. In Malaysia also, community participation in aspects related to the environment is generally still at a low level. Although various approaches have been introduced to encourage community involvement such as advertisement and campaigns, their practice and involvement are still low. Now we move to the research questions. First is, what is the relationship between 3R concept knowledge for the environment cleanliness and readiness towards the environment cleanliness using the 3R concepts? And second is there any relationship between the ethics and readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concepts? And lastly, is there any relationship between the 3R method for people to implement the environment cleanliness and readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concepts? For the research objective, first, to examine the relationship between the 3R concept knowledge for the environment cleanliness and the readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concepts. And second, to identify the relationship between the ethics and the readiness towards the environmental cleanliness using 3R concept. And lastly is to investigate the relationship between the 3R method for the people to implement the environment cleanliness and the readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concepts. Now we proceed to the literature review. First element is the knowledge. The people knowledge of waste management is an important component in the achieving a clean, healthy and beautiful environments. Waste management knowledge began with the understanding the many forms of waste, how to spread waste and how to manage waste. Understanding the college students have a very little knowledge of the sort of waste, sorting waste and the waste management. Student knowledge of waste type and waste sorting is still rife in errors. Many students are still unable to distinguish between organic and inorganic waste. Customers with a higher level of environmental knowledge have a higher productivity to act favorably on their environmental concerns. Next, for the ethics. Ethics is a field of the philosophy concerned with the study of the construction of the coherent set of the rule of principle by which people should live. Many people do not consider the theoretical study of the ethics to be important for them to carry out their daily actions. Environmental ethics is a moral principle that has been emphasized in every religious teachings. According to the Islam perspective, Allah the Almighty created this natural resource for a specific purpose. Environmental ethics is a branch of philosophy that explores the moral link between the human and the environment's value and the moral status. Last, for the independent variables, is the 3R methods. Reduce, reuse and especially recycle has become the sole acceptable method of the trash disposal. Furthermore, providing guidance and emphasizing the necessity of the recycle can aid in the implementation of the environmental cleanliness. The process of reusing waste materials to create a new commodity is known as recycling. Recyclable must be collected from a variety of sources, including homes, industry, and the construction sites. The collected recyclables are then transferred to the material recovery center, where they are sorted and processed before being sent to the manufacturers. For the conceptual framework, we can see that There is a direct relationship between the three independent variables, which is knowledge, ethic, and the 3R methods, between the dependent variable, which is readiness towards the environment's cleanliness using 3R concept.
Next is hypothesis testing. The HO1 is there's no relationship between knowledge for environment cleanliness and readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept. The HA1 is there is a positive relationship between knowledge for environment cleanliness and readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept. HO2 is there is no relationship between ethic and readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept. HA2 is there is positive relationship between ethic and readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept. HO3, there is no relationship between 3R method for people to implement the environment cleanliness and readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept. And HA3 is there is a positive relationship 3R method for people to implement the environment cleanliness and readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept. Next is research methodology. Our sampling technique is stratified random sampling. The research design is quantitative method. Our unit of analysis is the individual degree student at University Technology Mahara. So our sample is 100 respondents among degree student at University Technology Mahara, Seremban campus. Our data analysis first is descriptive statistic, Pearson correlation, and multiple regression. Our data collection is divided by 5 sections. Our section A is about respondent information. Section B, readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept. Section C is knowledge. Section D, ethical behavior, and the last section E, 3R method. Our data measurement is Likert scale. Next is main findings. Our first objective is to examine the relationship between 3R concept knowledge for environment cleanliness and readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept. Our analysis is Pearson correlation. The result is 0.285 and the p-value is 0.004. It is below 0.05. So that the hypothesis is HO1 was rejected and HA1 was accepted. Next is to identify the relationship between ethic and readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept. The analysis is Pearson correlation and the result is 0.479 and the p-value is 0.000. It is below 0.05. So that HO2 was rejected and HA2 was accepted. Next is to investigate the relationship between 3R method for people to implement the environment cleanliness and readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept. Our analysis is Pearson correlation and the result is 0.422. Our p-value is 0.000. It is below 0.05. So the hypothesis HO3 was rejected and HA3 was accepted. Next is research recommendation. Our first recommendation is encouraging recycling. One of the most important issues impeding the implementation of recycling programs in Malaysia is weak and shallow legislation guidelines. Municipal waste recycling in Malaysia has a long way to go. Efforts to reduce waste through waste reduction or recycling must be adequately planned. Local government should conduct more trash reduction education programs and provide more recycling bins according to the report. Collaboration among diverse waste management parties, government enforcement, and many other factors are all important. Next is role of media. In January 2020, there was 26.69 million internet users in Malaysia. Social media is one of the most recent kinds of contemporary media. in conjunction with technical advancement, the advent of social media is regarded as one of the most useful tools in the lives of many people. The media is more than simply a website for environmental action. It also plays a significant role in shaping the discussion and affecting outcomes. As a result, environmental concern in this situation, which is to separate waste, is expected to aid in lowering the production of waste, which is concerning because it is increasing day by day. Lastly is strict enforcement. Strict enforcement must be taken by all relevant agencies to protect the environment in our country. This follows the disclosure of various issues related to several pollution incidents that have occurred in our country in recent times. The issue of environmental pollution should not be taken lightly by all parties because of the long-lasting negative effects that can be brought through it, such as adverse effect on the level of human health around, adverse effect on animal, adverse effect on the soil condition, on air, on water quality, and many others. It is important that the enforcement process of existing law is taken against any party found guilty of committing any activity that could lead to pollution process, whether it is soil pollution, air pollution, or water pollution. Next is limitation of study. The first one is accessibility to the sample. The sample number is based entirely on an online Google Form survey. Prior to the use of actual distance measurement, online data collecting technologies were gaining favor. The COVID-19 epidemic caused several research projects to be postponed, interrupted, or abandoned. This is due to the impossibility of many traditional data gathering methods during physical expression to adhere to the government SOP for combating and controlling the spread of the virus. Some industries are working from home, primarily with a skeleton crew, which might stymie the progress of research initiatives. Although numerous study programs would have to be postponed or changed because of this unique occurrence, it is also gives space for vital new research topics and methodologies to be examined. Next is weakness of quantitative study. Quantitative approaches may be limited in their examination of concrete statistical links, causing researchers to overlook larger patterns and connections. It is possible that depending entirely on statistics may result in the loss of unexpected or large-scale facts that could support researchers. Many individuals assume that quantitative analysis, which is based on figures, is more accurate or scientific than qualitative study, which is done retrospectively. Both types of analysis, however, can be arbitrary and deceiving. Methodological methods to data collecting will be hampered by a researcher's preconceptions and views. Lastly is limited model. A good model is straightforward and simple to follow. Furthermore, the details from the models will make it easier for the researchers to make a forecast. According to findings, this study should include more models and variables to improve the quality of the relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable from the present model. As a result, the model will be more true and broader, allowing researchers to acquire further insight into the study. And lastly, the conclusion. This research has shown that all the independent variables such as knowledge, ethics, and 3R method are correlation in the readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept by using correlation method. What can we conclude is ethics can influence readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept. Besides, this study will help the researchers to gain new knowledge on the relationship between knowledge, ethics, and 3R method to readiness towards the environment cleanliness using 3R concept in Malaysia. Thus, our government need to play an important role to combat the issue environment of good management, strong policy, and so forth. Thank you.